Okay, so get this right. Wedding dress shopping, but like with a twist.
Okay, yeah.
You know how like in all the movies and TV shows, the bride-to-be is like surrounded by her entourage,
Yeah.
Everyone's like giving their opinions, all
Yeah.
those scenes.
Oh, yeah. Totally, totally.
So, what if you just went solo?
Mm. It's interesting how that image is so strong, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the wedding industry, like, really pushes that whole thing,
Yeah.
that, like, big emotional dress shopping experience.
Yeah, yeah.
And for some people, that's, like, totally the dream. Right, right.
Right.
But it can also be, like, super overwhelming for others.
Yeah. So you're saying ditching like the champagne in the cheering squad is actually a thing now.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are, like, rethinking the whole process.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised, to be honest, when I was researching for this deep dive.
Mm.
This article from Darianna Bridal Tuxedo called How to Go Shopping for Your Wedding Dress Alone, like, really got me thinking. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it basically argues that shopping solo, by yourself for your wedding dress, isn't just about avoiding too many opinions, but it could, like, actually be a really powerful choice.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the article really challenges that traditional narrative.
Right.
It digs into, like, all these anxieties some brides might have,
Oh, yeah, totally.
about family dynamics or self-esteem or even feeling pressure about their body image.
Right.
And, all of that stuff can make the thought of, like, facing a room full of people way more daunting than just browsing dresses on your own.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, for someone already dealing with, like, all those things, all those anxieties,
Yeah.
adding a bunch of opinions, even if they're, like, well-intentioned,
Yeah.
it could make it so much worse.
Totally, totally.
The article, I think it even specifically mentions anxiety related to body dysmorphia.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't want to get too clinical here or anything.
But it makes you realize how personal and sensitive this whole experience can be.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And, this is actually where the role of, like, a bridal stylist, as the article mentions, becomes super interesting.
Okay.
Instead of that, like, big group dynamic,
Mm.
you have this one-on-one relationship
Yeah.
with an expert who's totally focused on you.
Right.
And they can provide, like, personalized attention, guidance,
Yeah.
and create a truly judgment-free zone.
It's almost like having a fashion therapist.
Right? Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, you're vulnerable, you're probably feeling a little overwhelmed, and you have this expert there to guide you not just toward, like, a dress, but maybe toward a better understanding of what you want.
Exactly.
What looks good on your body and, like, what kind of bride you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And the article highlights how a stylist can really, educate the bride about different styles and fabrics and the whole alteration process, which is something people don't always think about.
Right.
And in a big group, it's easy for those details to get lost, in the chatter.
Totally. Yeah.
But one-on-one, you can really, like, absorb that information
Yeah.
and use it to, make informed decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. But wouldn't some people feel, like, more anxious going solo?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It depends, right? I mean, for a lot of brides, having that support system is part of, like, what makes the experience so special.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's definitely not for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. But for the right person, it can be really, really empowering.
Okay.
Think about it, You get to say yes to the dress all by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even, like, surprise everyone with your choice later.
Oh, yeah.
Or you could use that solo trip to become, like, a super informed decision maker before you even bring anyone else into the process.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. It's like taking control of the situation. Yeah, and, like, owning the decision, which, can be a really powerful feeling.
Totally.
Yeah, especially when it comes to something as personal as your wedding dress.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about, like, creating this space, right? Where you can just explore different options, get comfortable with the process.
Yeah.
And maybe even, like, discover a side of yourself that you didn't know was there. All without the pressure of, like, external opinions.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That brings up an interesting point.
Yeah.
This article, it emphasizes the empowering aspect of shopping solo, but is there like a risk that someone could feel more pressure if they don't have that like external validation?
That's a great question.
Yeah, like what if they second guess themselves because they don't have that chorus of, you look amazing
Hmm.
from their friends and family?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a real concern.
Yeah.
It's important to, like, be honest with yourself about that,
Right.
Like, do you need that external validation to feel confident?
Yeah.
Or are you the kind of person who's more comfortable trusting your own gut?
Right. Right.
Because, yeah, if you're someone who really thrives on that external validation, maybe solo shopping isn't the best fit.
Yeah.
But um, if you're looking for an opportunity to, like, truly connect with your own intuition and, make a decision that feels authentic to you,
Hmm.
then it can be, like, a totally different experience.
Okay. Interesting. So it's not just about like the dress itself, but about the like journey of finding it.
Exactly. Like, creating an experience that aligns with your personality and your needs.
Right. Okay.
And the beauty of it is, as the article points out, you can still choose to involve your loved ones,
Hmm.
later in the process,
Yeah.
but on your own terms, from a place of, like, confidence and clarity.
Right. So let's say someone is considering going solo, right?
Mhm.
The article mentions a few like logistical advantages,
Yeah.
like busy schedules, having friends and family who live far away,
Right.
all that. But beyond those practical considerations, what would you say are the biggest like benefits of this approach?
Well, I think one of the most significant advantages is, like, the opportunity for self-discovery.
Oh.
When you remove the external noise and opinions, you can really tap into your own sense of style
Mm-hmm.
and what makes you feel beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like peeling back layers
Yeah.
and uncovering a part of yourself that might have been, like, hidden.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's almost like giving yourself permission to be like a little selfish
Mm-hmm.
in the best possible way.
Right.
It's your day,
Exactly.
your dress, your experience.
And speaking of experience, another benefit is that it can, like, significantly reduce anxiety.
Oh, okay.
Imagine being able to try on dresses without feeling self-conscious
Mm-hmm.
or worrying about judgment.
Yeah.
It can be incredibly liberating
Yeah.
and empowering.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, especially when you think about all the societal pressures surrounding weddings.
Yeah.
Right. It's like
Yeah.
everyone has an opinion on like how you should look, what you should wear,
Totally.
how you should celebrate,
Mm.
all that.
Yeah.
And that can feel really overwhelming, even for someone who doesn't like typically struggle with anxiety.
Absolutely. And let's be real, a lot of those pressures are kind of intertwined with deeper insecurities,
Right.
whether it's about, body image or finances or even, like, relationship dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
So by choosing to shop solo, you're, like, essentially creating a safe space
Yeah.
where you can just focus on what truly matters.
Mm-hmm.
Finding a dress that makes you feel confident and beautiful
Right.
without all the added baggage.
I'm starting to see how this approach could be like incredibly therapeutic for some people.
Yeah, for sure. It's not just about buying a dress.
Yeah. Right.
It's
Yeah.
about, like, reclaiming control and prioritizing your own well-being in a situation that can feel, very loaded.
That's a really good point.
And it ties into another benefit that the article mentions,
Okay.
which is the opportunity to, like, build a stronger relationship with the bridal stylist.
Oh, okay.
In a solo setting, you can really open up
Mm-hmm.
and share your anxieties, your insecurities, your vision
Yeah.
without feeling judged or rushed.
So instead of just getting like fashion advice, you're getting a kind of like emotional support as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, wouldn't some brides feel like they're missing out on that like bonding experience with their loved ones?
Right. And that's a valid concern. I think it's important to acknowledge that, like, this approach might not be for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, the goal isn't to exclude loved ones entirely.
Right.
It's about finding a way to honor, like, your own needs.
Yeah.
And create an experience that feels authentic to you.
So how would you recommend someone like approach this conversation with their friends and family?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, some people might feel like hurt or left out if they're not included in the whole like dress shopping extravaganza.
Right, right. The article offers some good advice on navigating this whole, like, tricky territory.
Oh,
It emphasizes, like, clear and compassionate communication.
okay.
You don't have to go into, like, detail about your anxieties or insecurities or anything. Just, simply explain that you want to have a private first appointment just to kind of get a feel for different styles. And then you'd love to like get their input later on.
Okay. So it's all about like setting expectations up front.
Yeah.
And reassuring them that their opinions are still valued, just maybe at a different stage in the process.
Exactly. And you can even like frame it as a fun surprise.
Oh, good.
Imagine telling your loved ones, I found the perfect dress, but I'm not showing you until the big day.
Yeah.
Create that sense of anticipation and excitement.
I have to admit, I was a little skeptical about this whole solo shopping thing at first. But the more we talk about it, the more I see the appeal.
It's definitely a different way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
But it's one that I think, deserves more attention. Especially for people who, like, value self-awareness and authenticity.
Yeah.
And creating an experience that truly reflects their individuality.
Okay. So let's say our listener is, like, intrigued by this idea, but still on the fence.
Okay.
What would you say is, like, the most compelling reason to at least consider giving solo shopping a try?
That's a good question, I think. Well, I think for me, it comes back to that sense of, like, ownership and self-discovery,
Yeah.
It's so easy to get, like, swept up in all the expectations and the opinions of others,
Absolutely.
especially when it comes to, like, something as big as your wedding.
Right.
But this approach, it, like, really empowers you to strip all that away.
Yeah.
All the noise and connect with what truly matters to you
Okay.
deep down.
Yeah. That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
It's like giving yourself the gift of self-reflection and intentionality in a process that can often feel like really chaotic and overwhelming.
Totally.
Yeah.
And remember, you don't have to commit to the solo experience entirely.
Right.
Maybe you try it for the first appointment and then you decide to bring in like a select few loved ones for subsequent visits.
Yeah.
It's all about, tailoring the journey to fit your individual needs and preferences.
This whole conversation has really like shifted my perspective.
Oh, yeah.
I used to think of wedding dress shopping as like this big social event, but now I'm seeing it as an opportunity for something like much deeper.
Oh, wow.
It's like the dress itself becomes a symbol of like the journey you took to find it, a reflection of your own like personal growth and self-awareness.
And isn't that what we all want ultimately?
Yeah.
To feel like we're making choices that are like aligned with our truest selves.
Right.
Not just following a script or trying to please everyone else.
Right.
Whether you're planning a wedding, making a career change, or just like navigating all the complexities of life. That sense of authenticity and self-ownership, it's like incredibly powerful.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So to like wrap this all up for our listener, if wedding dress shopping is supposed to be about, finding the perfect dress that reflects you.
Right.
Shouldn't the process itself also like reflect your individual needs and preferences?
Absolutely. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to like anything in life.
Right.
Especially something as personal and meaningful as a wedding.
Yeah.
Embrace your individuality, trust your intuition, and create an experience that feels authentic and empowering to you.
And remember, whether you choose to, embark on this journey solo or with a trusted tribe, the most important thing is to like stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
And make choices that bring you like joy and confidence.
Well said.
Yeah.
It's your day, your dress, your story. Write it beautifully.
Yeah.
I think, for me, it really does all come back to that sense of ownership and that self-discovery.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get like caught up, in everyone else's expectations and opinions.
Right.
Especially with something as big as your wedding.
Right.
But this approach, it really lets you like just strip all that away.
Yeah.
And just connect with what matters to you.
Yeah.
Deep down.
I love that. It's like giving yourself permission to like really be introspective and intentional about the whole process, which can often feel so chaotic,
Totally.
and overwhelming.
Yeah. And remember, you don't have to like do the full solo thing, right? Maybe you just try it for that first appointment.
Yeah.
And then, you bring in a couple people that you really trust for the next time or whatever.
Yeah.
Just, really tailor the journey to what feels right for you.
I think this whole conversation has been so interesting for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I used to think about wedding dress shopping as this like big social event, But now I'm like, oh, wow, it can actually be like a really deep personal thing.
Right, yeah.
It's like the itself becomes a symbol almost
Hmm.
of the journey you took to find it and
Exactly.
like your own growth and self-awareness.
And isn't that like kind of what we all want?
Yeah,
To feel like we're making choices that like truly reflect who we are,
right.
not just trying to like please everybody else
Right.
or follow some script.
It's interesting too because it's like that applies to so many other things in life as well,
Oh, for sure.
Not just wedding dress shopping.
Yeah, like career changes.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, just like figuring out life
Mm.
and like all its crazy twists and turns.
Yeah, that sense of like really owning your choices and being authentic. It's so
It
powerful.
really is.
So I guess like the takeaway for our listener is if wedding dress shopping is supposed to be about finding, the perfect dress that reflects you,
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't the process itself like do the same?
100%. Like there's no right way to do this,
Mm,
especially with something as personal and meaningful as a wedding.
right.
So just, embrace what feels right for you.
Yeah, that's a really great point.
Trust your gut
Oh, yeah,
and create an experience that feels like authentic and empowering.
absolutely. And whether you go solo or with some friends or family,
Yeah.
just, stay true to yourself and make choices that bring you joy and confidence.
Well said. It's your day, your dress, your story.
Mm.
Write it beautifully.